All right, let's begin here at the SABC. Parliament's role as an oversight body came under scrutiny in the State Capture Commission's report. Even in the Commission, Parliament came under fire for what some have called sleeping on the job. But what does this mean when one looks at the composition of a Parliament when it comes to issues of accountability? Let's speak now more on this with former Scopa Chair Themba Godi. Thank you so much, Ndate Godi, for your time. Basically, Parliament not covering itself in glory as far as the report is concerned. Your thoughts?
Well, thanks very much for having me. I must say that there was no way that Parliament was going to come out positively out of this report. Everybody knows that Parliament has been hamstrung by objective factors, which is that the dominant party in Parliament is the ANC. The party that is running government is the ANC. So the malfeasance of the ANC in government cannot be dug out by the ANC. So by and large, for the last almost 3 decades, the ANC has successfully defended its own corruption through Parliament.
Now, one of the things that we saw in the Commission, and I remember when the former Speaker, Themba Godi, really was on the hot seat, one of the things that she said was that she admits that MPs could have done more. They didn't really do what they needed to do. You were in Parliament leading Scopa at some point in your career. Did you sleep on the job?
Well, I think the record of the Standing Committee on Public Accounts speaks for itself. And we became the one committee that really gave Parliament a positive image in terms of our ability to hold Parliament to account. But however, after we've done our job, there were those who were indeed sleeping on the job. Because remember, Scopa is a committee of Parliament. We report to Parliament, and once we have reported to Parliament, it is the Speaker's responsibility to interact with the executive to ensure that the resolutions of Parliament are implemented. That did not happen. And I think if you look at the report and my own submission to that commission, it was that Parliament did not have a system to monitor the executive's response to its resolutions, even though the oversight and accountability model of Parliament required that Parliament should have that. I then took the responsibility of writing to the House chairperson, Cedric Frolic, to indicate the frustration of the committee on the fact that there was no tracking, there was no monitoring, and there was commitment that this was going to happen, and it did not happen. So we are just but one link in a long chain. Any chain is as strong as its weakest link, and our weakest link was the Speaker's office.
You talk about tracking and monitoring. There's another issue, though, that has been seen by some as an impediment when it comes to accountability in Parliament, and this is the issue of party discipline versus MPs exercising the full responsibility of MPs. This also became a huge issue when you look at the outcomes of this report.
No, very true. If you look at my submission to the Zondo Commission, I said, we must disabuse ourselves of the notion that oversight is an administrative process. It is a political process. It is political considerations that usually come first. Look at what happened to Scopa when they were dealing with the arms deal before I came to Parliament. Look at what happened to Mervyn Derks in the recent past when he brought up issues in Parliament. So political considerations are always there, and it is dependent on the standards that the majority party has set for itself. And as it is, it's clear that the ANC has set no standards for itself.
So when I'm listening to what you're saying then and looking at what the report is also thinking and proposing might be a solution here, it suggests that there should be a protection or legislation to protect MPs who decide to deviate and not toe the party line. How much of this will assist, should it come into effect, when it comes to issues of accountability and what you've just described?
Well, firstly, my apologies. ESCOM just happened. However, to your question, I'm not sure if you will ever have such a legislation, because all political parties, not just the ANC, look at the DA. The DA has in its constitution a clause that says if a member of the DA votes against a member of the DA in a motion raised by another party, that member must be expelled from their party. So there is no way. I think it's a naive recommendation that there should be a law. There will never be such a law, because each party wants to protect itself. However, I believe that the only solution always lies with the people. As Kwame Nkrumah said, that we must raise the indignity of the people against malfeasance. It is only when political parties realize that any misbehavior, any incompetence is going to be harshly punished by the people that they are going to change. But for as long as Sekua Ture said, as long as our people look at the most accomplished thieves as the most electable lot, then they have no reason to cry about corruption when it happens.
So I'm listening to that, then it means you don't think things have changed since power exchanged hands and we see this current president, and looking at right now some who are saying that there's more of closing ranks when it comes to certain issues that needs to be investigated by Parliament currently.
I'm sure you recall that when President Ramaphosa appeared before the Zondo Commission, he said he kept quiet about what was going wrong in his party because he feared being fired, and waited until he became president so that he can change things. But you'll agree with me that the case of Mervyn Derks tells you that the more things change, the more they stay the same. The president himself, before the Zondo Commission, if you read, I think it's point 769 in that report, he says that if there is anything untoward, unconstitutional, or criminal that he is suspected of doing, Parliament should actually probe that. But we have seen how the leaked audio tape where he was caught up saying he knows about the stealing of public money for ANC conferences, and he's going to be quiet about it. When it came before the National Assembly, ANC members closed ranks and said no deal. With the Pala case, when some parties in Parliament asked the Speaker for it to be investigated by Parliament, the Speaker said, no, you can't do this. So, yes, the more things change, the more they stay the same. The sense that the president is transparent, that is honest, that is all things lovely and good that the public is yearning for, just does not measure up to the practice in Parliament and in the ANC as well.
All right, it'll be interesting to see how Parliament responds then to this particular report. But thank you so much. Let's leave it there for now. Thank you so much. That was former Scopa Chair Themba Godi talking to us about the role of Parliament as an oversight body coming under scrutiny in the State Capture report.